Do you live in a world of lack? That's what you see every day, what you need, what you wish you had. The worlds that we live in are filled with items, personal items, personalities, relationships, physical forms, housing, etc. All of these are part of the human experience on the earth plane. This is Inner Peace Place, and I'm Karen. We're going to discuss how you and I can get into a habit of focusing on the things that we wish we had more of. In other words, focusing on the lack in our lives. And you have to remember, if you lived in a different country, what you consider to be lack, it would be a non-existent concern for you. So it's just where you live at this moment that you notice or that you are concerned with lack in your life. You've had this since childhood. And as a child, you focused on different things. You learned through example or just through your experiences what you were going to focus on. Your viewpoint, in other words. So if you felt that your home was not as nice as your friends' homes, perhaps you focused on how your home didn't fill that desire that you had. So it does start very early. Now as an adult, you have a choice. You can expand your view. So what that does, it doesn't take away your lack in the moment. It doesn't do that. But what you're allowing yourself to do is expand into noticing what you do have, instead of always looking over the fence at what you wish you had. If you stay in a state of wanting, you never get to where you want to go, because no matter what happens, you want more. You want, and that's your habit. Not a bad habit, but just one you need to be aware of. So the current habit that you have is a creation of your thought habit, focusing on lack in your life. So you see other people that have things that you want in their lives, or situations that you wish you had, or relationships that you wish you had, and you feel that lack in your life. That is a form of abundance. You can have an abundance of lack. Your story, your life story, has been creating abundance of lack. Now this means you're very powerful. You have created this, or influenced it. I guess that's a better word. You've influenced that into your life, and some of us have done it so well that we see nothing else in our lives. It's an opportunity for you to step back and go, whoa, I had no idea. I have an abundance of lack. Wow. If you think of it that way, it will help you realize how powerful you are. The more lack you have, the more lack you focus on, it becomes bigger in your life. It becomes more of your daily awareness. You don't have time to focus on anything else but what you need or want in your life. So you're learning to appreciate your skill set. Now it's time to stand up and say, well, okay, I've done it this way, and I'm very good at it. What can I do now that I'm aware of this? Because you weren't aware of it. I was never aware of that. What can I do? Well, I recommend this. Find something in your life that you do appreciate, that you feel abundantly good in. Find one thing, just sit with it and see how it makes you feel and where in your body you feel it. So what you're trying to do is recreate the energy around that abundant thing or situation or relationship or whatever. Recreate that energy that's around there so that you can realize when you are influencing or when you are focusing on things that are upward flowing or that are upward flowingly abundant in your life. The reason this doesn't come natural is that when we create or magnetize things into our lives, we do it without realizing what we're doing. And so if you're willing to sit down and go, okay, this brings me joy in my life. I love my garden. I love being out in it. This is how I feel when I'm thinking about it. This is how I feel when I'm actively participating in working in the garden or whatever. So get the whole package. Find all the little things, going to the store for plants or whatever you do. Go to your friend's house to get, seedlings or giving seedlings away or whatever it is you do. Now, once you're in that energy field, find something that is in your life that you have full abundance in and it isn't making you happy. Do the same thing for that. Sit with it. Find where it is in your body, what the energy of it is, and you'll find that they're both filled with energy. And that's really a good thing if you think about it. We're not having to initiate some sort of momentum that is dead. It's there. You have plenty of momentum. It's just that you don't like it anymore. So let's shift the momentum of the abundance that you no longer appreciate. The abundance of energy that you have in an area. Let's say it's your house. You really want a new house. You need to have safer living conditions or whatever it is. Up to now, you're focusing on what you don't like about it. I don't like the neighbors. I don't feel safe. Or there's too much traffic. My kids can't play. Or whatever. You've been very successfully focusing on those things. So now, let's start focusing on what you like about the house, the environment that you live in. Does it keep you warm? Does it keep you dry? There's something that you'll find that, oh, yes, it does. In isolation, that brings me joy. You have an abundance of joy in the fact that this home keeps you dry when it's raining. Find more things. Build on that energy. Find more situational things that are encased in that in the living conditions that you have. Because what happens is when you start seeing how grateful you can be for certain parts of your life, it expands that energy into that area. So the abundance shifts just ever so slightly, day after day after day. And what you'll find is opportunities will come into your awareness. In other words, you'll see an opportunity that will match the vibration you're sending out. Abundance of things that you like, not abundance of things that you don't like. You're changing your energy patterns and what comes into your thoughts, your awareness, what you see. And you're also changing things that will magnetize to you. So in other words, when there's something in your environment in the past, you may not have noticed it because it wasn't vibrating at a frequency that you could actually take advantage of. You can do this with any part of your life, your relationships, your vehicle. Maybe you have a vehicle that you no longer can trust to get you from point A to point B, and you really would like to have a different vehicle. Find the parts of the vehicle that you like. Appreciate the fact that, whatever. Take a deep breath and relax and feel the abundance of the parts of the vehicle that are very successful. You're still aware of the fact that you can't trust the engine or whatever, but you're not focusing on it. You're not making that bigger. You're not letting it consume your thoughts and your energy, sucking you down the drain. Abundance of anything requires thought time. Abundance of lack, abundance of joy. So if you're willing to compare your abundance on the two sides, because we all have them, you'll find commonalities. And what you want to do is see if you can skew your thought time to taking the abundance of lack and skewing it into being more aware of the goodness in that same situation. It can be health issues. It can be anything, because the earth is our playground. The earth is where we come to learn. And so, despite the fact that you no longer appreciate what your personality self has focused on, you have the opportunity right now to start doing something different in your life. The world is not out to get anyone. It truly may seem that way. It really can. However, if you're focusing on how you are perfect, you are worthy. See, that's another one. A lot of people, they start magnetizing or becoming more aware of goodness in their lives, and something in their personality self way back there, oh no, you can't have that. You're not worthy of that. And you sabotage it by thinking about, wow, you're not worthy. Your negative self-talk takes over and creates an energy, abundance of energy in an area that you don't want. So you see, we can actually sit down and figure out where it starts going wrong. Where does it start going south? I finally got this in my life, but every time I do that, something always happens. If you have a pattern like that, understand that's not a bad thing. You can undo it because it is habit-based. But you have to be in a state of awareness of what's going on, what the energy differences look like, so that you can choose moment to moment with the help of your guidance what to do and what to focus on. You created the feelings that you aren't worthy. Even if someone said it to you and banged it in your head constantly, you internalized it. You accepted it as truth. Now it's time to realize you are amazing, and that you have the opportunity to focus on what brings you joy, what is abundant in the areas that you choose to be abundant in. And you have a choice to focus on the thoughts, the situations, the people that bring you joy, bring you up, instead of creating chaos in your life. It's time. You can do this. A world of lack is an energy flow. Start focusing in a different direction. Love and light to you and your path and your energy. And please contact me if you have any questions about this. I am more than happy to help. Bye-bye.